freezing place, you know, but, I mean, it could be a lot worse. My mom and dad live in South Dakota, and they say the weather is just, it's super humid, and in the wintertime, it's like, it's cold, but it's not just like the cold like Montana has, or it's like that cold that it's just like, that wind chill that you just get with it.
Don't they get ice storms over there? Is that
Yeah, ice
area?
storms and tornadoes. They got hit with a tornado right in the first year they moved there. They got hit. And that took out the back corner of their garage, took out their pontoon boat. They're literally brand new. They only used it 2 seasons. They spent $50,000 on it. Just crushed the awning. And they have, I think it took out part of one of their rental houses as well.
Okay, Stacy, so again, same deal. We cannot and will not discuss the reason why you're in here in any way, shape, or form. If it is brought up, we're done. Okay. And these are your rights. Okay, so I'm going to read them to you. Okay. Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk with the lawyer before advice, before we ask you any questions. And have it with you during the question. If you cannot afford a lawyer, and one will be appointed for you before any questioning can be written. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to the lawyer. Understand? Okay. And again, you read and understand English language.
So we got Spanish down here. I need a drink, by the way.
A drink? Oh, drink. Oh,
Your name, Anita.
Nita. Oh,
Anita or Anita?
it's just Nita.
Oh,
Yeah,
I still
just
need
really need a drink.
I really need a drink.
Me too.
Done with that much time. I've had too much to get too much privilege.
Yeah.
I mean, better now. Breakfast, oatmeal, two little biscuits and some gravy, you know. I'm like, man, I'm sure glad they're coming to lunchtime. I'm like, you're gonna have to hold back on, fall back on.
Oh my God. Go by fast.
Having all those in mind, you still want to sit down and talk to us? All those rights that I.
Oh, yeah. I know I should sometimes. So, go ahead.
So we just want to make sure, last night, you know, you kind of went through everything and we had to go over a bunch of mounds and stuff to get to where we were at the end. So I like where we were able to kind of just stop, give you a little time to breathe, get you where you're feeling a little better. And then we'll go back and this time when we go through it, you will tell us the complete story, only the truth about everything that took place.
Okay.
And so that way, in our minds, we're not wrong on anything. Okay, are you able to do that?
So,
Okay. So, can you start with when you first met Adrien? So it sounds like you and Brandon and Sarah were already in somewhat of a relationship, but then,
the agent.
yeah. Did anything happen prior to Adrien coming in?
Just the whole love triangle started before he came in.
Okay, anything that had happened prior to Adrien coming in that influenced or any type of thought process that helped with this case?
No,
Okay.
not pertaining, no. Adrien I mean, I got a phone call from, started the phone call, I got a phone call from Sarah saying that she went to Boise to go to the taxi run, and then with that, so I get a phone call saying that, she doesn't need to talk to you real quick. Okay, about what? There's this guy named Adrien that is struggling kind of down in his luck, and he's supposed to be, you know, I mean, as he's already in the car with her, you know, such. Me being put in that position, I was like, okay, well, I mean, you know, do whatever you feel is best. And, you know, because, I mean, I think I told her, well, I didn't say I thought, but I told her that I was like, you know, it's just, you know, yeah, that's fine, you know, great. And then after.
Have you guys done that before?
Adrien was the first person that we've helped out, like, taxi ride wise, and with a place to stay.
Oh, okay.
Brandon had been staying at our house, kind of like, Brandon's kind of a special person, because he, like, special in the sense of, if you will say that, he kind of just like, we just kind of took him under our wing, I guess, because.
He kind of adopted you guys and you kind of adopted him.
In a sense,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it wasn't like I really wanted that to happen, as much as like, we told him you could stay one day, and next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you're still there.
I want to feed them straight off.
Oh my God, then we'll stop coming. So, I mean, didn't really get much of a, you know, much of an option with Brandon. Brandon kind of just brought his stuff and said, well, here I am, and he just plays. And Brandon at that time, you know, I mean, we were okay with him, you know, like Brandon, you know, I had worked with Brandon doing odd jobs, and, you know, so I mean, I felt relatively pretty comfortable with him. As far as that goes, now with Adrien, that was kind of a really very uncomfortable situation. I mean, for me, I honestly can't say for Sarah, because I think Sarah enjoyed the pleasures of having a black guy around, just for the sole purpose of, before she met me, she dated and was with nobody but black guys.
What was that first night like?
Awkward. I mean, it was just like, I introduced myself, and then Stacy, you know, how's it going? But it wasn't really like, there wasn't really in-depth conversation with her that I had, just because it was awkward for me, you know, like, I got put on the spot. And, you know, yeah, I was asked how I felt about it, but I'm not gonna sit there and be a dick, you know, be like, oh, no, you know, that's not happening, because then I know I'd have to go through the whole spiel of having a freaking argument with her, and I tell you, arguing with her is like trying to fucking, you know, hammer a nail through a fucking brick wall. You just can't get the head, the through the fucking the wall. Like, Sarah is, she's just ridiculously psychotic. I honestly regret being married to her for almost 5 years. I should have left when I got held down and held it down. That should have been, the knife thing should have been my first move. Like, this bitch is crazy, I'm out of here. But there was a part of me that was just like, just give it, you know, of course, the way my heart is, you know, like, I don't want to be a fucking asshole, but no, bitch, I'm done. You know, Sarah made a big part of our marriage very difficult, because a lot of the decisions, even though she tried to say, you know, I was the head of the household, which technically the man is supposed to be the head of the household, like, let me tell you, she fucking wore the pants around the house, because it was, I didn't dare try to fucking cough up an argument or try to fucking cause a split about shit. It just, she was very unruly when it came to it.
Okay.
And then so after, we asked Adrien, or not asked, I got asked if Adrien could come, I was like, sure, at that point, I was like, sure, why not? And then, it was only supposed to be for a week, and then, oh, well, I'm supposed to get the Department of Labor, I guess he got collective unemployment, which blew me away that he even had a job, no offense, but maybe he's trying to, and it wasn't until after he started trying to do this Snapchat hustle that, like, then I was like, oh man, I'm definitely, like, I can't put this past him, like, his lack of, what do you call it, ignorance, therefore, I guess, and then, when I found out about him doing the whole Snapchat thing and how that all came about, it just, I mean, at first the whole unemployment thing, because I collected unemployment, with the pandemic unemployment assistance, but it wasn't, I've never worked a job long enough in my life to actually collect unemployment. So I got the pandemic from when the federal, or when Trump was in office. Donald Trump. But Adrien was he was a harder person to live with, I can say that. He was very, I felt intimidated, does that make sense? Like I felt like I was being overruled in my own home. And it just,
Was threatening?
would he? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
No, I mean,
Oh. I think one time, like, I was joking, and I was like, what up, nigga? Or like something like that, but I wasn't even, sorry. I wasn't even doing it like out of disrespect. It just like, like I have a homeboy, one of my good buddies out of Montana, his name's Larry. And we're always joking around, like, what up, nigga? Just joking around, and so it just slipped my mind, and I was like, what, and I said it, and he goes, he goes, don't ever come across that. And I'm like, okay, like, sorry. But it's like, he hasn't really, like, threatened me other than, that one instance, but I understand, it's how, they take this derogatory term, which makes sense, it's like calling a white person a cracker. I'm not saying not a cracker, but not, but he was a very uncomfortable person to be around altogether. And then when Sarah and him started doing, she started taking him to different places to do tax, to go here and to go there, or whenever he got paid, or whenever he wanted to go see his so-called kid or something that was in Boise. I don't even know if that's even his kid. That's a question I've been trying to ponder for a long time, if he really did have a kid in Boise area, which, cool if he does. I feel bad for the fucking family. But the more that Sarah and him hung out, the more it became clear to me that I was pretty sure that things were going on. Given Sarah's history with, she had made a comment to her mom quite a few times about how, man, if anybody, I always told myself there'd never be anybody that could turn me to go to white men. She goes, I always told myself I'd always be with black men. And she goes, Stacy knows to do it. Which you got, she got a black guy hanging around. And I was like, it's sataneous, like, now she's like, just wanting to do a taxi ride,
So how long was that going on prior to Michael disappearing?
I mean, he'd only been with us maybe a month before, maybe 2 months before he did this whole thing. Michael did before Sarah and Adrien kidnapped Michael. And there had been a lot of chauffeuring back and forth, with him going places. But it was only when he got paid. Or there was times where he would be like, well, my money didn't come in, all my money never came in. That it was supposed to, kind of pay it harder now, pay double next month or whatever. And so on the night of the disappearance, I had opened a garage and noticed the tricycle sitting on one of the boxes, which was a very odd thing. Something that wasn't there. Like I said, I'm very keen on my stuff. I always keep good eyes, because I don't want shit going missing. So that was one thing that stood out to me, but it didn't make sense as to why it was there until after Sarah had come up this little boy basically being forced, held down, and being told to shut up. And I'd asked her, what's this? What was this person? And she goes, we abducted.
So, was that the exact words she used? Do you recall?
Did she use? I think it was more so we took, abducted took his mental contest. But she made it very clear that she had taken this little boy, and it was Adrien, Sarah, Brandon. And Sarah was in the middle of Michael, and she was holding him really tight against her chest. Like, not like around the neck or anything, just tight down to where he would stop fidgeting. And brought him in the living room, and I go, what the fuck are you doing? And she goes, well, we needed one. And at that point, I was just so infuriated. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I said, I remember even telling her, I said, this is not the guy we want. I was going to steal someone's fucking kid. And that's at that point, I told her, I said, I need to be away from him, and I'm going to go to the bedroom. And, cool off or whatever. Prior to going to the bedroom, I noticed that Michael set Michael on towards the edge of the couch, and was trying to get him to stop fidgeting, but he was in deep, deep awe, or it was just very deep distress.
Break that down for us.
So Sarah comes in holding, something like this, really tight. And then and after they brought him in, I had questioned, what's going on. And words were, we just took this child and it was abducted. And I go, what the fuck for? What we needed with money. And I told her, no, it's not fucking your money. I'll just go steal somebody's little boy. And so I told her I needed to be away from the room, but remember before I had gone to the bedroom, they had set him on the edge of the couch. And he was leaning, like he was pushed back, but he was also leaning towards, well, okay, if this is the couch I'm sitting on, it's on the edge, and this is the edge. He was leaning inwards towards the middle of the couch, but he was literally like, you could see that there's terror in this little boy's eyes. I mean, it was something. It's not a face you're gonna ever forget, especially. And I mean, he was crying about for his mom and Sarah and Adrien both trying to tell him to shut up and quiet. And at that point, I had already gone to the bedroom, and I could hear the ducting getting on me. It's just, like the sound that's when you hear the ducting. And I could hear it done 4 different times, and I assumed it was, what I thought was because he stopped, screaming after the ducting was applied. And I remember coming back out to see what was going on at one point, and I remember seeing the duct tape that had been placed around his mouth, his wrists, and his ankles.
Was the duct tape, you said you saw it? Duct tape over his mouth?
No, it was just over his mouth.
All the way around?
No, it was a strip. It went like around his cheekbone, but it wasn't all the way around his head.
Did you make eye contact with him?
A little boy? I think at one point I did.
What was that like?
Very, very uncomfortable. Not something that, I was distraught. Like, why the fuck would my wife go and take some person's little boy? I mean, that'd be like, it'd be like somebody going and stealing a brand new $1,200 puppy, from, I mean, it's not the same, it's the same aspect, like, it's not a kid, but it's still, it's that puppy, you just, it's, the value's not meaningful. What's meaningful is the fact that this puppy's got a little soul, and that's the way I just can't get over it. It's just the face that this little boy had made. I mean, just in his, the terror. I didn't say anything to him. I told Sarah, I said, this is fucking bullshit. I said, I don't know why the fuck you're doing this. And I told her that it's just specifically, I told them that they should really report this and give this little boy back to his family before it's too late. And they were both like, no. And
Who's his name?
Adrien and Sarah. Brandon, again, he was just the innocent one. I think he was just out of the league. But I mean, kids, it's really fucking happened. And
So there's going to be a question. There's always a question. Why didn't you stop?
because I was scared of jumping.
Help us understand
I with Sarah and her history, like, and how crazy she was acting, I didn't want to be a victim of death, and I felt like if I would have tried to stop it, Adrien or her could hurt me. Yeah, I'm a big guy, okay, but I'm not like, people like to view me as just like a giant teddy bear, I'm not a very aggressive person. I try to act tough, but I'm not a violent person. I mean, I hate fighting. I hate being in situations where I have to use my fists. It's just not something that I don't enjoy doing. And so this, I should have stopped it. You're right, but I guess I was more so being selfish of myself when I should have been focused on this little boy.
So how much time was he on the floor?
So maybe between 10 and 20 minutes. it wasn't a whole long time. I mean, I didn't go out there and see him being stuffed in a duffel bag. I just know that, Sarah had said that Adrien, that we're gonna go take care of some business. We'll be back here in a little bit. And at that point, I assumed it was that they were going to go sell my home. In Ontario, but like I said, I can only be 99% sure that it's, that it was in Ontario that this happened. But I don't have a 1,000% certainty like I want to give you.
Okay. Yeah,
99% is better than this.
yeah, that's absolutely right. And the truth, the truth is a constant, that's all. That's all we, you know, that's all Michael deserves. We do agree with that, absolutely. This juncture. No one.
So after they had left, they come back, but it was, the duffel bag, it just looked as if I had closed it, you know. Like I said, at first when they got back, the duffel bag had looked, I mean, it looked at the same time, it looked like it looked the same as when he had first brought his duffel bag forward. But like I said, I don't know, you know, I mean, the only place I can think of him being stuck would be in the duffel bag. I mean, and then back the car up into the garage. Cause I can hear from our bedroom, you know, what's going on in the garage. I noticed that the garage door had opened and that, I could hear the car backing. And this is before all this stuff happened. But I know that the car had been back in. I would assume that's the way that he was transported out. I mean, he wants to live around, you know, he'd be something suspicious.
What car do you have in the garage?
Cool. But again, I mean, again, that's the vehicle Sarah liked to drive. But at any point, they could have switched vehicles too. I mean, I don't, like I said, I know that Sarah, I say Sarah's Corolla, not that I'd seen it backed up in the garage, but from what the engine sounded like, you know, I'm very keen, like, if you go out and start a vehicle, I can pinpoint what kind of motor is that vehicle.
Well, I know the fact that if my wife starts her car, I can tell
Yeah.
that in our Jeep.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
But how do you discern whether it's back to?
Just because I can hear, I mean, I can tell the sound when you have a car parked in reverse, or put in reverse. I'm very keen. If somebody, I can do it to any vehicle. If somebody can sit there and I could be in the parking lot just waiting in the car.
The idle check.
Yeah, the idle, correct, the idle changes, lower idle, and then when you go into here, RPMs go up. So it's, so it's very easy for me to decipher when, you know, somebody's in reverse or somebody's in right.
So when they left, where's Brandon?
He's in the car with them.
So
He's gone, but they had all three gone. They said, we're gonna go take care of business.
So does that strike you odd that when he comes in with them and he's kind of, based on what you're saying, he's kind of sketchy that this whole thing's going down,
Yeah,
but then they leave together?
yeah. It was
Describe that.
It was, I mean, I think Brandon was doing it to play along because he felt kind of he's just stuck between a rock and a hard shit. I think see, Brandon's kind of like me in a sense. He likes to talk the big game, but when it comes to getting confronted about shit, he's pussy about shit. And that's, I don't like to say that I'm a pussy for instance, I don't, you know, I've had enough years in group homes and treatment facilities to be, and counseling throughout all of them, to be able to control my anger and to be able to learn how to not have full-blown outbursts, you know, or snap at something. Like, I'm telling you, being in jail right now, like, it's been extremely mentally challenging for me, because I have never sat in jail for this amount of time in one setting. And it's literally, like, I've literally been going mentally insane. Like, just, and it's just super hard time. Yeah. And it's just,
But you understand though, and you recognize, right, what they did was wrong.
yeah.
And you recognize the society that was wrong. That's right. Right, and kind of.
And I think that's why our is going so into this, because they knew what I was holding was wrong. They knew what was wrong. And the fact that I did way too clever, we waited a year and a half to come out with the truth. There's no excuse for it. It makes you sick inside, even that I held to the knees. But I normally, I should, any normal fucking person would have had the brains to sit there and say, no, you know, this isn't happening, and call it that. No.
Do you think he was deceased at your house?
I don't, I just know that that was the place. I'm not one of my guessing games.
Okay. No guessing games. Do you think Sarah knew that he was deceased?
It's very, very, very possible. Brandon and Adrien were pretty parts of it.
You think Brandon knew?
I think he knows, and I think he's too scared to tell the truth.
Do you think he knows that Michael is deceased or alive?
I think he would know either or.
Okay. So he would have knowledge that
I would assume.
be
I mean,
deceased.
he tried to, like, this whole love triangle thing, like, even after it ended, like, there was still, I mean, Sarah even told me at one point, I mean, she was starting to develop feelings for Brandon, so. What's a husband supposed to think, you know, when your spouse says that, like?
I'm just right on.
Whatever.
Good for you.
You're so full of
Here's a
it.
look, here's a rock.
Yeah, whatever.
Application just hungry, and a room application just lost on the way, right?
What about Adrien? Do you think he knew that Michael was deceased?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we knew he was either deceased or alive. There would be, between the three of them, one of them would know.
How does that make you feel?
Shit. I worry every day whether that boy is alive or not. I pray to God every night, every day, that little boy gets home to his family. I want nothing more than him. In fact, I need the Vaughns, homemade escape crush. And it's in my cell, and I'd like to give it to you to go over and read it and give it to him. It will be willing to. And I did write out a little bit of a letter inside the card. And, make him a Thanksgiving card. I wrote a few Bible verses in it.
Well, and you know, you can be an advocate. You know, We're not sure. So, we think that obviously, if he is deceased, finding his body would be extremely advantageous. Would you agree with that? We're not positive that you may not know that. Okay, so going back to the, for seconds at the snack bar for heck. There's no one. Just kind of going to the snack bar. What do you think?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that happen between spouses and things that happen in the home that give you information. And I think these are things that we need to help understanding a little better. The idea that Michael's alive and somewhere, you're gonna have to help me on that. The idea of you guys going to CUNA with Michael, you're gonna have to help me on that. Because you have two different versions right now.
Well, yeah, I told you, it's 99% positive he was done, he was taken off terror.
Okay. So,
I don't have destination wise, or I can't tell you where he's at right this instant.
did you guys talk about that when you spoke with Brandon about getting your story straight about Michael going to Ontario?
That never was part of the conversation. It was, I just remember saying we all need to be on the same page about, an alibi or whatever, which the alibi was not true. It was the alibi was used to be the sequel.
Okay, and what was the alibi?
That, I've only gone a few hours of sleep, so I'm trying to still. That we had contacted Brandon, or we called Brandon to tell him that, or to talk about the alibi, that we needed to be on the same page, that none of us knew what was going on, and none of us knew what was happening.
Okay.
And when in reality, I didn't know where it went, but I knew of the child going missing.
Did you make an agreement if you were asked what took place that day? Did you guys make an agreement as far as what to say if you were asked what you guys did that day?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did you guys plan on saying what you guys done that day?
I want to say it was, because the whole going to CUNA thing did happen. So that wasn't, you can't really make an alibi. I'm saying an alibi is something that used to be done. I don't have recollection of what was used to cover for that.
Okay.
I know that we had gone, you go to CUNA to go get Brandon's car.
So in this, part of this is I have to be able to know that you're being 100% straight with me. I think you're trying really hard, and you've been hiding this for a year, and there's been a lot of things, well, a year and a half, and a lot of things have gone through your mind in that year and a half. And so you're even fighting yourself trying to, just go back to what exactly happened versus things that you've been through.
Keep in mind too, we're talking a year and a half later, so it's not that I'm purposely trying to leave out information. As you can tell, it's coming back to me little by little, so it's not that I'm doing this on purpose, or
No, you're working with us. Yeah.
If I didn't want to work with you guys, I wouldn't be talking.
Yeah.
So.
And in order for me to trust you and everything is I just have to verify some of the stuff. So, what time do you know that Michael went missing?
Between the 6 and 6:45. I don't have exact time frame, but I know it was in the 6 o'clock hour.
Okay. So could we step back to when you came back from your taxi? When you walked in the house, what was going on?
There was, you had Adrien in there, Sarah and Brandon Will. No, okay, no, so I got back and I'm trying
You're doing good.
to recall what I said yesterday.
I'm not worried what you said yesterday. I need you to think back to when this happened.
Yeah.
You said you went to the splash pad, and then you went and did a taxi run,
Taxi run, yeah.
and you came back into the neighborhood, and you went home, and what did you see when you got home?
A tricycle in the garage on top of the boxes.
Okay, and then what did you see?
You just keep it right.
I had gone in because they weren't, I remember seeing the tricycle on top of the box. It was odd. And I come in and, okay, yeah, so they were, I got back around 5:30 and they were, I think, they had gone, they had gone to do something. And I remember when they had gotten back that I had seen Michael and Sarah was holding Michael.
Okay. So from the phone data and stuff, we can see when you guys were home.
Yep.
And we can see, so I can see when you're home, and I can see when Sarah's home. And it appeared that you were home first. And that Sarah
Yeah,
came in
so-
pretty close after. However, with your story, and when I see Sarah coming in, Michael wasn't abducted at that time.
No, he was abducted between the 6 and 6:45.
Okay. So, can you help me understand a little bit better about what you saw when you got home and what was going on in between the time you got home and before Michael was abducted?
I come home and set the Alexis key on the counter.
Okay.
I went to go look for some food. I ended up having shrimp. That was up for grabs, so I had shrimp. After I had the shrimp, Sarah had come home with Brandon, because I remember they had gone out, or she had taken him to go to like a ride or something. And when they came home, because yeah, that's right, she did come home, it was really close, like right after. But, trying to put it together. It's so hard.
The truth is a constant, that's why it's difficult.
So, as far as your involvement of what happened, I know that even me, I tend to not want to put myself, I don't want to be looked bad, especially when I wasn't meaning to do something bad. But sometimes in these cases, we have to tell the exact truth, and if it makes us look a little bit, like we weren't doing something so great, it's okay, because at the end, you're still telling the truth. And the truth means more. You know what I mean? Because that's the only thing that we can give back is the truth. And so even if it makes us look like we did something bad, or that's still the better road to go. So if something was going on in the house, could you tell me what was going on in the house?
Michael hadn't been abducted until later on. But I remember, yeah, okay, so there was, and Adrien and Sarah were talking about ways to make money. And at that point, I didn't know that an abduction was in their plans. But I know that Adrien wanted to make money, and that one of those ways was Snapchat. And when Adrien was, or Sarah was helping Adrien create a profile to make money. And then I remember them having to leave. They said they had to go take care of Aaron. And then they had left for a little bit, and they came back, I'd say within half hour, 45 minutes, I will say. And that's when I see Michael in Sarah's house.
Were they intending on using Michael in that Snapchat idea of making money?
That I don't know, but I would guess probably that could be a very, very well what they were trying to do.
Okay, walk me through that, of your knowledge of what was going on that led
I
you
just
to
know
that.
that Sarah was helping Adrien create a profile with different pictures. I think there was a few different Snapchats created. But I remember one that was like a girl with longer hair, blondish hair, like dirt blonde, I don't know. She looked younger, so which is kind of weird, and it was struck me as odd. If you're trying to make money, like, and this is before I would have, before I even figured out, what Adrien was about. But I know that they were trying to come up with different ways to make money, and Adrien's like, well, I'll cut you in on a percentage, you can help make some money. And so that was that conversation. Then I remember they had to leave, and they said they had to go take care of an errand, and then they'd be back, and they came back within 30 to 45 minutes, and Michael was in Sarah's house. It was Adrien, Sarah, and Michael. Adrien, Sarah, and Michael, and Brandon. And Sarah was holding Michael. And that's when they come to the door, I go, what the fuck is this? And they're like, well, we abducted this child, basically took this child. And I go, why the fuck would you do that? I'll just take a little boy from our family. When we need to make money.
So you keep bringing up photos, that they were using photos of girls to make money. Did that have anything to do with Michael as far as making money and getting photos?
What do you mean?
Like, were they intending to take photos of Michael to make money?
No, I don't. I can't answer that. I know that, if you saw the pictures that I had on my phone, were pictures that I downloaded on Facebook. Right, you can click and save the photo, or because I posted this on the band. But most I don't even know if she had any photos of Michael on her phone.
Okay.
I don't know that at all. I know that I had them online.
Like photos of
Just-
you taking photos, or
No,
photos
of
of
the poster and a banner.
Okay, so that had never occurred to you guys to making money by taking photos
No.
of that, and his idea was photos of girls?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep going. What's going on that night?
So, they come in with rifle, and I said, what was this? And they said, we just took this out. And I go, what the fuck is this one? And they said, that's not okay. And, I told them you really need to call and report it. And, they were like, no. And so at that point, I was just infuriated, I was beyond belief. And I had gone to them, I said I need to go to the bedroom, and said, just leave me be for a little while. And that's when I heard, I'm sorry, backtrack a little bit, they sat on the couch. And, it was on the edge, like where I was sitting. But he was like, he was kind of like, scared, the tear, you just see the tear in his eyes. And, they were telling him he was crying and yelling for his mom, and they kept telling him to shut up. And that's when I had gone to the bedroom and I could hear the duct tape. And that's when I heard the duct tape going.
Did you think that they needed to duct tape him with the way he was acting?
I mean, personally, duct tape's never, I would have never thought of using, duct tape, that's just fucked up.
I'm just wondering how Michael was reacting, so if it was necessary that they
If
needed
that
to
was
do
my
that.
kid, and I would never use duct tape to shut up. I wouldn't. And that's why it's mind boggling, because like, out of who I thought Sarah was, it's not, I would be Sarah is now.
When we find Michael, would he be duct tape?
Very, very good chance, possibility.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't know what they would have done with the duct tape otherwise. Other than try to dispose of it, but that would get found.
Right, so if he's buried and we find him, will he still be duct tape?
I can't give it your answer, yes or no. I would say, if I get on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say the chances are probably between a 6 or 7.
And where do you think if you were us, where would you search?
Ontario.
Ontario? Okay, when you say Ontario, that's kind of a,
That's a fraud.
that's like saying LA. Okay, you know what I mean?
I would search a lot of there's a lot of crime that happens like I want to say like you go under the bridge and you can take a first right, like you're going towards Lowe's, that whole, there's the trailer park there, and then there's the townhomes, and the blue townhomes, and what's that safe haven place there in Ontario? There's a safe haven for women there. And I only know that because we were a taxi company and we had taken a gal from the safe haven to not Salt Lake, there's another city in Utah. I can't think of the name.
But how would Michael have got to Ontario?
Through Sarah.
Okay. Okay. So we're talking that, so I actually know a little bit more than probably you do, just because I've been working investigations, so I know what time Michael went outside. And so your time frame, where it's so open and there's so much time to do so much things, I know isn't correct. And so my belief in you, it comes down a little bit, because I feel like maybe you want to tell me something, but you're not telling me everything, because it might make you look bad or.
No, I'm not trying to look bad. I'm not worried about looking bad. Like, I'm giving you the best that I can give you.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you that there's not enough time for them to go to Ontario. So I'm telling you that because I know when Michael went missing, and I know what time you guys left.
Okay.
Okay? So if you want to be straight with me and you want to help me, which I believe you do, you need to work with me, okay? You need to tell me what exactly happened. And as far as them leaving for 45 minutes or a half hour, I don't believe it. Because we have information that you don't.
Yeah, I don't know what, like I said, I'm trying to give you the best time frame that I can. I don't know what else to give you. I mean, I'm not saying like I don't know, I'm just saying literally, this is a year and a half ago. I'm trying to give you the best that I can.
And that's why we have to keep walking through it, because there's something that's gonna trigger your memory and help us to understand where Michael went when he left your house. Because then we can start to look in those areas. When did Michael leave your house?
Since this event just changed your life forever, I mean, you would know. I mean, I really believe you know. Okay?
I'm not saying that I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
And we believe you. I mean, there's just more here. Okay? There's more to the twist here.
You know, and I can say it does help trying to, to go back and replay the thing. It's just, like I said, things are coming very slowly. I'm trying to help you guys. If I don't want to help you guys, I wouldn't be talking.
Well, that's why we have to walk through it, every step of what you saw at the house, everything you heard while at the house. Because everything that you hear and everything that you see takes up time. And we know what our time frames are, and to see if that's possible or not. If it's truthful, then it should fit in there. If it's not truthful, it's not gonna fit no matter how hard you shove.
Yeah, I mean, think about the buffet, okay? I mean, you scoop, and different items, and every once in a while, you scoop and you miss the plate, okay? It doesn't mean you didn't scoop, okay? It just means, okay, it needs to, come back around, okay? And I think you have been honest with us about
Definitely.
not only wanting to help, but, you have been thinking about
Send a mix, just have them call Cy, another case we have, sorry.
you have been thinking about that. It's evident with the card, and you're thinking about the family. So
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing. There's no question about that. I know these questions seem hard, okay, and that's normal. Again, we always like to reiterate, okay, don't make anything up if you don't know it.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you do know it, okay, and sometimes the pressure of knowing creates this barrier.
So I don't give wrong info. I will say that I don't know exactly what time.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what time.
Okay, that's fair. You might know the sequence though, right? The sequence or how the line of events happened, because you were there to see it, right?
I was there to hear it.
Okay. So then you have a lot of knowledge that can help us, okay? So what was the line of events that happened when you were home after you saw Michael come in?
I had just gotten done eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going to sit on the green couch for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and Sarah had come in. With Brendan and Adrien. And Sarah had been, that was after she had first got back. From the first run or whatever. I remember when Michael was brought into the house, Sarah had been holding him. And again, I had what the fuck was this? And she was like, well, we have to take money. And, so I brought him and said, so, we kidnapped a child. And she goes, well, yeah, and I go, and I said, that's not fucking okay. So why the fuck would you do that? And I told her, I said, you really need to call the authorities, you got a problem. And she was like, no. And at that point, it was pointless for me to ask why, because I already know how she was. And, at that point, they had set Michael on the couch towards the end, and he was just shaking, he was scared. Trying, and I screamed for his mom, and they were telling him to shut up and be quiet. They could make comments like,
Yeah, I do.
Sorry. And after I told him I was gonna go to the bedroom, I remember hearing the duct tape. And, I remember when I came out, I remember seeing his mouth was duct taped, and his hands were duct taped. And his feet were duct taped.
Did he have shoes on at that point? Stacy, do you recall?
I want to say he did, but I don't know what the description was. When he didn't look like he just had socks on, or no shoes on. Looked like he had something on his feet. But not positive, no.
Maybe I don't have that, just. And what did you see?
I noticed that, yeah, it was duct taped, and I gone back in the room, and I remember Sarah came and said that we're gonna go take care of some business, and do that. But I don't recall, I don't have the exact time.
Did you ask
What
them, like, what kind of business?
Huh?
Did you ask them, like, what kind of business are you doing?
No, I assume when they said business, that it had something to do with making money, or making some sort of money. Because like I said, I had seen some cash in Sarah's purse after the fact, in like the next day or two. It just, I was still in fear, I was trying just to like cool down, and like wrap my head around what just fucking happened, like.
So, yeah, I don't wanna stop you, but, so when they leave with Michael, why wouldn't you pick up the phone? Where that?
Because they would scared. Perfect opportunity, right? Yeah, I know, but I was scared, and I was scared of,
I have a hard time believing you're scared.
I was scared of what Sarah would have done. Like the whole, like I told my mom, I'm literally scared of Sarah.
Okay, but you're alone at that point. You have transportation, you have a phone. You're an adult,
I
a
know,
man.
You're right.
And I'm trying to wrap my head around why. I mean, Stacey, there's something more here. All right, man? And if you want us to help you, you gotta help us. All right, man? We've came to you a ton, okay? And dude, I'm on my knees right now asking you. There is more here.
is not doing what I like. This is where I'm coming from too, like, this is, you never put this happen, so to me, you know, everything in recollection of one time, you know, or doing, or, you know, of bigger timelines, and when this happened, that happened.
I understand that, but if they leave with mom, and you're alone in the house, right?
Yeah.
Extremely worried, okay? Mad at Sarah for just kidnapping a child, and you choose to do nothing about it. Okay, that's what I have a hard time with, okay? I think there's something more here, and until this gets better, until it gets better, we need to be right here, okay? Okay?
The biggest thing right now is we need to know when Michael left. And the story with Sarah and then leaving, if that's true, I want to know it, but it's not, I'm not understanding it, and that's why we keep going back to it. I need to know when when Michael left your house. Just have him call admin, Scott. Here. Just have him call Cy. It's, here, I'll give you this, you can understand. Yeah, don't get frustrated. Yes. And so she said that she'll come, she'll speak with you. And I told her that, you know, you wanted a little extra support when you guys talk, and so we can talk together if that's what you prefer. And, you know, she wants to be here for you. She wants to be here for you. She thinks you're doing the right thing, and I told her that you're trying to help us. And she was very grateful, and I told her I was very grateful for her, and very grateful for you. And so,
She loves you.
very, very, very much.
But she's grateful that you are being straight. Right? But she's also sad because she can't touch you. From any mom. I mean, that's always the thing in these situations. Right? She's, you've got Michael's mom, okay, who is devastated, and now your mom. Okay? And then there's going to be Brandon's mom. And then there's going to be Sarah's mom.
And Adrien's.
And Adrien's mom. Everybody has a mother. And they're all, you know, your mother would have done anything for you, but to her credit, the greatest gift she gave you is love. And to have you say, please just be honest. Because you give her peace, and it hurts right now. Okay? And it's the same analogy. Think about it. Michael's mom is suffering right now. Okay? But your truth will give her peace. Okay? And it kind of connects together. Okay? We can't change whatever the truth is, whatever the facts are. Okay? We can't change it. It happened.
And if we minimize it or change it to try to help, it actually hurts.
And your mother is feeling the same pain. Because she's like, stop, enough. Okay?
I believe her saying is, don't stick to a lie if it's not the truth.
Right. We don't ever want that. No. And your mother doesn't want that ever.
I understand. People don't usually look at times, but we know the sequence of events. And I need to know when Michael left your home.
Try to think about that. As hard as it sounds, okay, when they left,
I don't,
when you left with them, if that that's part of the truth that needs to be connected.
I know that I had left in the truck with Sarah and Brandon, but I didn't think that Michael had been in the truck. Like I said, I thought that Michael had been transported before Sarah and said that he had to go take care of him. But I didn't even come to think that it could have been that he was, I was in the truck with the boy right in the back. I mean, that's a very good possibility that could be it. I don't,
How about your story where you stopped off at 8? Was Michael in the back?
it's very possible there was a couple like that.
I need to know if he was in the back. You told me a story about the sequence of events that happened at that time, okay? I mean, if it wasn't the truth then, please tell me. But I need to know if Michael was in the duffel bag in the back.
I would say 99% sure he was.
And why is that?
Just because I heard some noise, but I didn't even come to think of it until after we got in Brandon's house and he was being all sly about taking the bag and stuff around the house.
Okay.
Just did it again.
Did anybody get out of the truck besides you off of 8?
Brandon did it. And what I don't know 100% certain, but I think that Brandon did.
And what was Brandon doing?
I think he was checking it up and back.
Okay. And I need you to be 100% straight with me. Was Michael alive at that time?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because I can hear vague noise, but it was more like I mean, he couldn't really make a loud noise, but it was like a very distressed, like a distressed outcall, like.
And that was the water.
The water wasn't that loud. I didn't have a lot of water.
He was in the back seat.
No, it was in the back of the truck.
Okay.
I have pretty good ears, and
So your statements of believing that they left with Ontario with Michael and him not being in the truck, is that truthful?
that was what I had thought, but I think now come to think about it, I think they did, he was in the back of the truck and wanted to be.
Okay. Where did Michael go from there?
I don't know, that I do not know, because when Brandon had come back out of the house, it was, we moved back to, his car out of the trailer. Before that, he put the duffel bag back in the back of the truck, but it looked different than what it looked like when there would have been something.
Do you think that he could be so heartless to leave a boy bounded up in a strange house overnight all by himself?
Yeah, because Brandon's mom had been home. Brandon's mom was.
You know what I think? That's what Am I right? What?
Yes.
Let's start talking.
Should you turn that up a little bit?
Even a bad truth is better than the lie.
I'm not naive, man. Come to the end of this. She's behind. She told you that last night. And even
1000%.
prior. Okay? And I can get the prosecuting attorney. I can find him real fast. Okay? Come on. Come on.
I know that Michael was transferred to Canada, left in Brandon's house. And I think,
I don't know. I think.
no, what I'm saying next day.
Oh, it's
Same
like-
as when they had, when Adrien and Brandon and Sarah had gone to the town, Boise the next day, I think they had stopped and dealt with Michael after I wasn't part of the picture.
You've spoke with them since then. You have spoke with them since then. And so I know that if I saw what you're explaining that you saw, and the steps that you've walked me through, that there is no way that anybody would ever believe that you had never spoke with him about what ended up happening with Michael. Nobody would.
As far as in depth, like where they buried him or where they took him to dispose of him, I don't know, but I do know that he was left at his mom's house the next day.
And how sure?
I would say 100%.
Was he alive or was he dead when they left him there?
He was alive, from what I know. And I don't think he would have died, when the road should come. Fruitland, he wasn't being suffocated.
Then what did they talk about as far as his body? Like, how did they say he died?
Let's bring this in. Okay.
I'm trying to, it was,
How did they tell you that Michael died?
I never was told that.
Okay.
I never was. All I knew was that the last I heard that he wasn't alive.
Okay.
And was at Brandon's house.
And what did they do with him from there?
I think, from what I was told, they wouldn't dispose of him, but I don't know where.
Okay. And
It was Sarah and
What did they say exactly? The rest of your
they had, before they left that day, they said that they were gonna go to Keene and go finish what they started the night before. Yeah. And going to take care of the body. But whether he was alive or not, I don't know that answer. I know that 99% sure I would say he was alive.
so you didn't know at that time. However, Brandon and Sarah, they came back. And what did they tell you? Because you've had plenty of conversations since then.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't have, they didn't go into detail. I didn't really ask them, well, where did you go bury it? Or where did they go?
I want to know how Michael died. And I know they probably would have told you that.
I don't even know if he died. That's what I'm saying. I just know that it said they were going to be healed. That's all I have to tell them. I don't
You said that they were gonna take care of it.
take care of it. Well, yeah, but I don't know where they would have went and buried him. My guess is since Brandon's mom wasn't home, it would probably be in the back. His mom's got a big old garden in the back. And she has a fire pit. I think she has a fire pit area on the tree in the backyard and stuff. I didn't really look, I didn't study your opposite in the backyard.
Well,
You're doing good.
I know
You're doing
you've
good.
been in the house. I know you've been in
Yeah.
your mom's house, and I know you've been in the backyard. So,
Only on the porch.
so if I had to,
Tell you what the backyard looked like? I mean, step onto the porch, you've got, you go straight back, you've got a garden area that's somewhere like a cement. What do you call it? For the garden where we put the cement, curving, and edging or whatever around the garden area, and I know that there was a garden area probably, probably from his dad staff desk over there. And then off to the corner, I think there was a tree, right there was a tree, or like a bush or tree. And then there was like a fire pit, I think, back there. It was not a home, but it was, I mean, her yard's pretty big. It's not small back there. But to give you a description, that's what I would describe it as. If I had to say where he was buried, I would say, you know, the grave is back there.
So, since all this time, and then November, we had interviews and stuff, and I'm sure it probably stirred the pot of what was going on in your household. Did you guys talk about Michael again, and was she ever concerned of people finding him?
She brought it up, saying, I hope they don't ever find him. But after that, I mean, that's when she really started the whole, you know, now's the time to repent of your sins and just really get into this God thing.
Okay. Go back to the conversation
I mean, it was just, as I said, there was nothing, it wasn't really in depth. She had a worried look, and I asked her what was wrong, she wasn't just hoping they don't find him. And I go, I said, that's kind of your own doing. They said, you shouldn't have done this in the first place. And I even told her, I said, I should have called the cops and reported to law enforcement, and I didn't, because I loved her at the time. And I didn't want to see her get in trouble.
And how did you guys, how did you help, or how did she ask you to help of keeping it secret?
She just basically threatened me, told me that if I said anything, that she'd do damage and make it so where I couldn't pretty much talk her. Basically not be alive.
Okay, she didn't ask you to help hide evidence or move anything, or?
You know, the whole couch thing, that was her suggestion to sell the couch. And I at the time when we sold the couch, I didn't even think about I'm not going to on the couch. And nor did I know who bought it, you know. I didn't even realize that was you. I don't think it was it? You had somebody else want it, though. So I thought, but I didn't even come to think about how that couch, you know, would have had evidence in my home.
Did you have to clean the couch after Michael been on
There wasn't, to my visuality, there was no blood or anything on it, so I didn't think I even didn't think.
it? How about the vehicles?
I mean, it was very frequent that we took our vehicles to the car wash, you know, wash them. Ran a taxi company, and that's when we tried to keep our vehicles as clean as possible. Brandon would always come in, and I thought it was weird because he really started this whole thing after Michael disappeared. He started this whole thing about really wanting to shampoo the carpets and shampoo the upholstery and whatnot, which I thought was really odd. Because he didn't really do that, you know, I mean, when you first met him, you know, but after this had all gone down, it just didn't, it was weird.
When you're GMC deputy, I've spoken to that personally,
Yeah.
and I know you made complaints.
Yeah.
And also, one of them was you wanted a log truck. The other one was you told them to bring up and sell it. And then another time, that King's car together and he said, why? Why would you?
So to answer those three questions, so the first question is why I called to ask to borrow the truck. The whole asked to borrow the truck, what was, I think I was, no, not clean. That wasn't even a thought. I had Sarah and I had purchased, I think, a couple pieces, or we had some furniture that we got given to us off of pre-dealers. And I think we didn't have the money to, at the time to, or from what Sarah said, to rent a U-Haul or whatever. And so I called King's Cars to ask them while it was in possession, if we could utilize it to go move the furniture. And then the second part to that question was, you asked, what was it?
Well, you asked them, you told
To
them.
hurry up and sell. Yeah, and that was because they told me that, that each time that it's from the length of time that the truck was sitting in repossession, that it still it was collecting interest. And so I told them that I wanted them to hurry up and sell it because I wanted to see they told me that if they sold it at auction and if they didn't get what the amount that I owed on the truck was, that I was gonna pay the difference. Your collections, and that's why I told them to sell it. It had nothing to do with wanting to get the truck back to go clean it or anything. I mean, when I looked at that day, I had a hitch on the back, the hitch that, we used to tow that trailer for that guy to Walla Walla. Or I think it was Walla Walla or Vancouver, but, there's a guy that was telling me that lived on Kings Road who's kind of a disabled guy. But, I remember precisely leaving a hitch on there. And my whole thing was when I went back to go look at the truck, because they told me that it had a huge oil leak and that the oil spilled out, which was really awkward to me because the truck never had it said low oil pressure, but that was because the little oil filter gasket that goes behind the engine, there's a little port that pull out that little filter. That was the oil.
Let's go back to the decision to move Michael out of your house. Who made that call?
Oh, sorry.
And so,
Sarah and Adrien together.
and so all of a sudden, Brandon, as much as you said he didn't want to do it, he said, put him in my mom's backyard.
Well, Sarah had asked him if he had any ideas where they could put the body. And Brandon said, well, my mom's not home. She's in Arizona or whatever. There's her house.
So listen, you're already talking past tense, man. You guys are in your house, looking for a place to put a body. All right?
We just told
I
him.
think Michael was dead at the house.
I
I think somebody killed him right there. And then, I think the decision was made to move him out of the neighborhood to the key. You get some time on to figure out the next step.
I don't know that he was killed. I'm telling you.
You just told me we're
Yeah,
trying to find a place to put the body.
yeah. To bury him or dispose of him.
So-
I don't know that-
What we're getting at that-
About killing.
It was Sarah.
Okay, tell me the exact words that you recall, that's good enough. How about that?
Sarah had asked Brandon where we should put the body. And Brandon was like, well, you guys can take him over to my house and we'll deal with it, whatever, we'll buy us some time.
So what we're wanting to know, there's a big difference in if there was an accident and Michael ended up dying in the middle of this, or if somebody beat him or strangled him, or, we are wanting to know who did that and what happened. I mean,
Come on.
I can,
I'm whispering to me. Sean, that is all I care about, that's all he cares about, that's all she cares about. Alright? It's been over a year and a half. Alright,
Christmas is coming.
bring some closure.
Let's make it stop before then.
Bring some closure to this marriage. Let them start healing. Let them start healing, okay? Help the family. Make it right to yourself by helping the family. Okay, make it right to Stacy. I help you.
I don't know that he was killed at our house, because I heard noise coming from the back of the truck. That's what I can tell you when we left. So, him being alive when he was transferred to Kena, whether he was killed the day after, I don't know. I just know that they wanted to find a place to hold over and tide over until we had time to figure out where it was gonna go.
I think you're doing great, and, and you're right. So, when you get there, in the truck, and you're still alive, let's say, somebody has to help Brandon move from the truck to the house. Okay? Where did he get placed when he was removed from the truck?
That I never went in the house with Brandon.
Okay?
It was Sarah in the truck.
So who was in the truck?
It was me and Sarah. I had gone out and got the toast rack ready.
Okay.
But Brandon had transported both of his bags by himself.
Okay, so Brandon takes him where?
He goes to the side of the house, or the side of, to the right of the garage, is just a gate open or something.
Why didn't he bring him in the house?
Because he didn't have long to be alerted with the security cameras.
So, did you think that was weird, knowing that he was alive, but you were gonna put a 5-year-old boy in a duffel bag on the side of the house?
You know,
What did you think?
she said something. And she was watching.
Did you say something to Sarah?
I asked her, I said, why of all places, why are you doing this in general? And she goes, it's weird.
This part of the story is for your mother. This is the hard part, okay? This is the nitty-gritty here, Stacy. Okay? What's done is done. The only gift you can give now is the totality of what happened.
He was brought in around the side of the house. I think that he was not there. He was right at the look inside the house. Overnight by himself. And the next day we went, took him to a very, took him to a very, I don't know where he was at heart. I wasn't looking at it.
I think you do. You know why I think you do? This is such a magnitude at this point that you have to maintain the consistency of the story. Okay? I mean, that's, so you're taking a posture of right now where this is the posture you always take when you get kind of nervous. Okay? And that's okay. Right? That's all right.
Like I said, I think he was very sure and very responsible.
When you say pretty sure is much different And he is. Because here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you again. Okay? That's gonna put into motion a lot of resources, okay, to go to that backyard. And we've got ground penetrating radar, we've got forensics, we've got anthropologists. There are a whole bunch of things that are going to be put into motion on Stacy's work. Okay? And if they find the body, and it's in the backyard, right, which we will, right, then everybody goes, where you go, Stacy. Okay? If they don't, then they're going to go, what are you talking about? Did you do it? Does that make sense? Which of those two options does Stacy want? Right? Does Stacy want to put his mother through all of that? Or does Stacy know if we took you right to that backyard and you go right there, right? And then they run, you ever heard of ground penetrating radar? Okay. It's a ground penetrating radar. Yeah, we can see, we can actually see in the ground. Okay. If Michael is buried back there, I want to be your advocate in relationship to he took us there. Okay. I know Detective Keller and Detective Clement, we all three of us are on the same team on that principle.
Exactly. Because then I can say he is truthful. He came forward as a witness. You know, yeah, this happened, but he came forward. He's the only one that came forward and was a witness and stopped this and stopped it right now.
You can end this today for your mom, for Michael's mom, and for the rest of the community. And, but more importantly, for you. Okay? And that's important. So please, and I know you're, the one thing I like about you is people underestimate you. Okay? You're a really smart dude. Okay? And you have been through hell in your life.
Trying to prove that.
There is no question about that. Okay? And the fact that you have a conscience now, that you're thinking about doing the right thing here for this little boy, I'm looking at you right now, and you are processing. You're processing. Okay? So let's, like Scott said, now is the time today. I mean, we're running out of daylight, quite frankly. Okay? We want to know if we take you from here and take you to that house, and you are the hero in this, you know, he's right here. We're on target. Does that make sense? Help us out on that idea. Because I think you know.
You're the only one standing here being a man. Brandon took off, ran away. Adrien took off and ran away. Sarah, I don't even know what she's doing. She's saying, give me a deal or I won't sell you anything. You know how horrible and mean that is for her to say that to Michael's mom. Well, you give me this and I might give your child back. That's just not right. And you're the one standing here, being a man, sitting in a room with detectives saying, help us find Michael. And you're saying, yes, I will help you. Because we know what happened was wrong and we can stop that pain and we can make the future right.
So we're going to sit here and listen. Okay?
Will you just back on Sarah since it was today?
We changed our mind about that, actually. Did you last night? Yeah, we did. So what's the other piece that we...
You can check her.
Back here.
Her house.
And if we checked that backyard, the view. Do you know exactly where Michael's buried?
You know,
You had to.
well, this is what I'm trying to tell you, you know. It was pretty close to the backyard, to by the porch area. You know,
In the back or in the front?
in the backyard.
You got a piece of paper. I think I can understand it better if you draw out later.
Okay, Google Earth.
Oh, okay.
And Michael didn't find
If you want to give it to him and you can trace it out, I'm gonna run to the restroom.
You know, this is a good plan. You want to draw it out real fast? Or give us your one. That's your plan.
Yeah, he's trying to.
Hold on, I was gonna show him something. That's happening.
All right, let me go this way because I have to go potty. Is there anybody here? Hi, can I run to the restroom? Oh, I feel so much better. Thank goodness.
It's patio.
And that's your sheet.
So.
Okay, so this is the backyard, and this is the patio coming out of your house.
Yeah.
Please.
This is where you.
Right. Underneath the concrete.
No, this is, no, out.
Out in the yard.
Yeah, out in the yard.
Okay,
That's
so this is the concrete right
Yeah.
here. This piece right here. Okay? And your sliding glass doors, whatever they were,
Yeah.
right there. And I'm standing on the patio right here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. And then right here's the grass.
So that dog did a lot of holes and stuff, and nothing's been found. Holes. Oakley.
Figure it out. It's not working. See what? Sorry.
So Oakley did a lot of holes and stuff. Michael wasn't uncovered there. How's that?
That's just where.
That's just weird. Okay. Yeah, he did that picture all backwards. Here, you can draw your own. Here, just take that rubber band off. All right. Up there.
Okay, so we've got the house right here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And we've got, say this is the front. Here's the back area.
Yes.
We've got the patio.
Okay.
That patio, and this is Oakley really liked to dig right here. You see that it serves a really frequent.
Question? Are we talking about Brandon's house or Stacy's house?
My house.
Your house?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's in the backyard of your house?
Yeah. So here is, this is where Oakley went to dig.
Okay.
You know, it serves a lot of old digging right there. And Michael would be probably not in the middle of the yard, but right around the area she was digging. So it'd be right
So, you guys, can I draw for a second? Let's see if I can draw any better.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't. You'd be like my mom, she's a very good drawer. Okay, so if I remember your house right, so we have a street that comes off this way and it kind of bends around. This is your driveway. Okay, I should just, and then. Oops. So we have a shed over here. So this is your house here. This is the shed, and then you have like a gate here that comes in here. And then you have 3 big trees over here, right in the middle. So where at?
So this is the,
So this is the house, so this, I left the yard small, sorry.
so who would be right here?
Right by the trees.
That's Stacy's house, but I know two of them.
Yeah, so those are the 3 trees.
Yeah,
Okay, so where's he at?
so this is the patio, right?
Yeah. Okay. And so this is where you are telling us to search and we will
Yes.
find Michael Vaughan.
Yes.
How do you know he is here?
Because that's where Sarah's buried.
Okay, did you see Sarah buried in there?
That's where she said she buried.
Okay. Did you see anything that would make you believe that she's being truthful?
Shovel in the garage.
Okay. When was this?
The day after.
The day after. Okay. So we didn't see any dirt spots or anything. Why not?
It was after.
Yeah, I know. That's
That's where he is.
what I can tell you.
Okay. And did you see anything that would indicate to you that she was being truthful besides the shovel in the garage? Anything in that spot?
Just a little more pressure on the shovel. Even the shovel her dad usually keeps the tools pretty clean. Doesn't like a lot of stuff being left on. You know, her dad was a very big, he's very picky on the leaves and his tools.
Okay. How big of a hole did Sarah make to bury him?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I would assume big enough to bury the body.
Okay.
I was inside the hospital and didn't want to do
Who helped?
What's that?
Who helped?
Adrien.
How did Michael die?
I think probably by suffocation.
Suffocation.
Not
And how did that happen?
I think they ate something before they
Okay. So was he alive that night? When you guys got back from Cuna, where was he?
they had gone the next day to go get him.
Okay, so he was in Cuna that night. And then what happened?
I don't know 1,000% positive, but I'm pretty sure they killed him when they went to go pick him up.
Okay.
Brought him back to there.
And did Sarah say anything like that that would make you believe that?
You know, she said they were burying him. And then I was like, struck.
Okay. What was he buried in?
But we had been a plastic bag. We were garbage bag, I don't know. We had quite a few garbage bags.
Okay.
Sarah, that's one thing Sarah was keen on is she was, especially after this happened, she was on the road, with garbage bags.
Okay. Sorry, my brain just went dead. I forgot what I was gonna ask altogether. What time did you get back the next day?
I never went with them.
No, I mean, when you came home, when did you come home?
When I came home.
You said that you'd left that day, or were you home all day?
No, I was home. I went with him that night. But I didn't go with him that next day. It was her, Adrien, and Brandon that said they were going to force him.
Okay, and the day after that, like after Michael was abducted and all that?
I think I had done a couple taxi rides that I don't,
Okay.
all down to where they were.
Okay. Why did they end up killing Michael versus whatever else? Was it an accident? Was it on purpose? What was it?
Sarah said it was an accident.
Okay. What did she say?
That wasn't what they were trying to do. They were trying to be able to sell the paper.
Okay.
And it was already too late
Okay.
Why was it too late?
because he had already been accidentally killed.
And how did he accidentally die?
Suffocation.
Suffocation. Okay. Where was he at when he suffocated?
I think everybody was us.
Okay. So was he alive when you guys left there?
Yeah.
And then when they got back the next day, was he alive?
I don't know that. I just know that Sarah said that they accidentally killed him.
I think really, really hard when they got Michael and Michael came to your guys' house. What did he have with him?
Just a little monkey stuffed animal.
Okay. He didn't have anything else, because I'm still missing one item that I need to verify that you're telling me the truth.
I don't recall anything else, I just know that he had a stuffed animal.
Okay,
That's all I know.
okay.
If I thought there was another toy or animal or something, I would tell you.
Okay. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that's been running through your mind?
You know, I'm just happy to be able to help him.
How do you know if he's still here?
I've been in jail the last 6 months, so I couldn't tell you. That's the last place I know that he was.
Okay. So when was the first time that you heard that he had died?
The next day,
The next day. What was going on? Walk me through that the next day.
Sarah was just really panicky. She was big, accidentally killed Michael. I was just blown away there. And I remember something. To tell me, I was see, you would never fucking done this. This never would have happened.
Was that when you called your mom? On 28? Michael, let me see, on 27. 28, and when get married?
Yeah.
Why didn't you
call mom?
Why didn't you tell your mom what happened?
I was scared to.
Okay.
Because I knew at the time she would call the house.
The tricycle, what happened with it?
I don't know what happened. The tricycle, 1 minute was there, and when I went out, it was gone.
Okay. Where did it come from?
They picked it up from, I think he was riding by when they picked him up.
Okay.
Where did the tricycle?
And where was he riding the tricycle at?
Off of the street.
Okay. Why didn't they pick up another kid? Why him?
Was my best guess, to be honest with you, is he was the one. He was the easiest one to grab. I don't know.
Okay.
But I asked some questions if he said this is just completely appalling.
So you had the photo of the man walking. Do you know who that man was?
Photo?
Yeah, there was a photo that Russ showed you of a guy walking in the neighborhood. FBI agent that interviewed you in the polygraph or prior to.
I don't remember him. Can you show me the photo?
I might. It does. And I dropped it and half of it fell out. Yeah. This is just one of many.
Was Russ the guy with the glasses and one that was on camera? The shorter guy with glasses, older man?
Driving the bus,
Yeah.
So, you know this car?
It's Sarah's mom's.
There's my car.
It looks like everything. But I put a picture, it looks like he's
Does anybody drive that car other than them?
no.
Nobody?
She lets Sarah drive it sometimes.
Okay. Did Sarah drive it that day?
Not. Ed was very particular on who got to drive her.
Okay. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna have to pull it up because I don't see it here. Sorry, Scott. I'll put that back in here too.
And that's her mom.
Okay.
I could probably point out how it is that she lived with us all the moms around her. The white one.
Yeah, we have those. I'm not worried about those. That one I'd question. that one I questioned if it was hers or somebody else's.
My mom.
I know the other car.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I recommend that
Okay. So with our stories and everything that's gone through tonight, and so, no, it's not. It's 4. So, has anything changed in anything that you've told me? Okay, how about the trip to Ontario, them going to Ontario and all that?
I know that they went to Ontario, but it wasn't to transform my home.
Okay. And anything that you say right now, up until, we're done here, if there's anything that we have to change that you've spoken about previously, that is okay. Right now is the time to change that. Okay, so even if you just outright lied about whatever in the world, right now is the time. If there's anything that needs to be changed, that will change it. So when Adrien came in, did you guys talk to Adrien about Michael prior to taking him?
No, there was really no discussion other than what Sarah and I talked about,
Okay, and what had they talked about?
where they were gonna take him and what to do with him, and that's when they had asked Brandon.
Okay, so that was already after they got him. And so was there ever a discussion or anything that would make you believe or help us to believe that it was planned that they were gonna go and find Michael?
No,
Okay, so
it was not a plan.
them taking Michael, why?
I have no idea. I think Sarah might have, was trying to appease me with the kid.
Okay. She was trying to appease you with the kid? What did she say?
She didn't say anything specifics. I just think that she was trying to appease me. Putting all like, oh, look, I found this kid.
Okay, so when she's like, hey, look, I found us a kid, what was she meaning? What's your thought process of what she was thinking at that time?
That she was here.
You guys were gonna keep him?
But yeah, I wasn't okay with the situation in general.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of nice to know that she wanted a kid, and that's why she took him, is to appease you and say, hey, here's a kid, and now we have a kid. But I just want to make sure that I'm understanding that right. Okay. And when did it change from that thought process? So it ended up, things went bad, right? And so, but when she shows up at your house and she has a kid and she's like, look, honey, we have a kid now. When did that change? What was going on?
The next day, after his dead. I mean, it was,
That's a big jump. It's a really big jump.
well, it's just like that. I mean, I wasn't even okay with the situation in general. You know, I don't know who the right man would be.
Okay. So walk me through it. When you came home from the taxi ride and stuff, walk me through what really happened.
Just like I told you, it was, I got home and, they said that we were gonna go do something real quick, and they came back, and, Sarah had a kid here. And it wasn't, definitely not what I was expecting her to have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I know she looks pregnant and all, but it just, that whole night was fucked up.
Did she present you with that idea, or how did you come to that conclusion that that's what she was thinking?
Just the way she did it, because she knew that I wanted a kid, but that's not the way I wanted a kid.
Yeah, well, understandably. But how did she present it to you when she was still in that happy mindset that she brought you a kid and you guys could now have a kid together?
It wasn't like she didn't directly say, I brought you a kid. It was, there's, look, a kid. And I go, what the fuck? And I go, what the fuck is this? Because we abducted her. And that's when all hell just kind of broke loose in my mind. Like, you know, constantly thinking about why you're, why would you do that? What was the logic behind it? But assumption wise, that's why I think she did it, was to try to appease me with a child.
Okay.
And she's got it fucked up because that's not.
Yeah. It's just kind of a bad mistake, really bad mistake.
Very bad. I'm not even okay with this.
Yeah. Okay. And then, has anything else changed from the story that you've told us that took place, like the conversations about going in the truck or the car, anything like that? Okay. So, walk me through it so I don't get it wrong. Okay? So, you were there, Sarah comes in with Michael, and then what happened? You said that all hell broke loose. So, explain that.
But I just internally.
Oh, internally.
It's really not physically like hell broke loose. It was just mentally. Like, why the fuck did you do this?
Okay.
And you didn't money, and you're going money. But deep down inside, I don't think that was her motive. I think her motive was, oh, look, we're kidding. And like I said, I can't put that on my mom's grave because I don't know that's what she's thinking.
Okay.
But
Your Honor, this next clip's gonna be 10 minutes as well. I'm okay. Oh, is it okay with the court if we go just a few minutes?
Let's finish the video today.
Okay.
as much as we've been trying to advocate, obviously, the love triangle, using Jesse, using Brandon as a sperm donor, I mean, they don't want it, it's the only thing I wanted to include.
Okay. So after that, what happened?
I got frustrated. I noticed he sat on the couch and he was yelling for his mommy and, mommy, and we were telling him to shut up. And at that point, I found his bedroom and I heard the dog.
Okay.
And from there on out, it was just, they had asked what they should, where they could take the kid, and I go to, and Brandon, moms. That's what they've done.
Where were they standing when they decided to take him to the room? Okay. Where was everybody standing at?
They were all,
Yeah, but where was everybody standing at?
Adrien was standing by the green couch, and Sarah was by the couch with Michael, and Brandon was, I think he was by the island.
Okay. Okay. And what was Michael doing at this time?
He was laying on the floor.
He was what?
He was just laying on the floor. Abducted.
Okay. And how was his body positioned?
Laying on his back.
Okay. Was he doing anything? Was his eyes open?
His eyes were open, but he was squirming. He couldn't talk or do anything.
Okay. And what were some of the words that, I know you said we could take him to my mom's house. She's in Arizona. Was there any other words being said? Was Adrien, Sarah, anybody saying anything else?
And it was just, okay, that's, it's a good idea. That's what they've done.
Okay. And how did the duffel bag come? Who thought of that? Okay. And what did he say?
Because they were trying to find a way to transport him, and Brandon was like, I have a double bag.
Okay. And then what happened when he said that?
They put some of the clothes on the bottom and put them in the duffel bag and put more clothes on the bottom.
Whose clothes did they put on the bottom?
Brandon's. Brandon's clothes.
Okay. And then how did they put Michael, if you were to use this, how did they put him in the back?
His head made this,
Uh-huh.
body made this.
Were they gentle?
They weren't rough.
So let's see if I can use this.
Box.
Yeah. Here, we'll just take that box out. So if this was a duffel bag, let me put this over the floor. How did they put Michael in the duffel bag? With one hand against his head? Okay. And who was holding him?
Sarah.
Sarah was doing this? And how did she actually place him into it? Like head first, feet first, where was his head?
Yes, she went like this.
And he just went in, he didn't fight or anything?
No, he went over, he was with,
Did anybody have to help her, like open the sides or anything like that?
yeah, he drank it over the sides, the back, or the hold it the sides of the open.
Okay, so after he's in it, then what happens?
It's a phone.
Did they have anything else on top of
They
him?
put those on,
Okay, where did they get those?
it was so, it's close.
Where did they get those from?
Good bag, took some of the clothes out.
Okay, so he actually opened the bag?
Yeah, took some of the clothes out.
Did you see him take the clothes out?
Yeah,
Okay,
that part I did see.
okay, well, describe that for me, because we didn't go through that.
It was, Brandon had opened the duffel bag after it was decided they were gonna use the duffel bag. And some was still over there on the floor, and there was still clothes left in the bag. And Sarah grabbed Michael and picked him up and set him in there like this.
Okay. Did she have to try to make him fit, or did he, I mean, how was he fitting in the bag?
His legs bent,
Yeah.
fit in the bag.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was a little longer than the bag.
okay. And how did she get him to fit? Did she have to move him around or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain it without me having to step you through step by step?
So here's the head, she went, took up Michael on the bag, and obviously he's gonna be longer, you know, like have Cubans.
Yeah, or just push it down this way and act like those are his legs.
Yeah, so here's his head,
Mhm.
here's his legs, obviously he didn't fit early, so he didn't, he pushed him. So he used his legs for,
Okay,
his own.
okay. They were bent up?
Kind of like in the fetal position?
Yeah, yeah, it was.
And then what happened?
They had put the clothes on top of him and zipped the bag.
Did they cover his head or anything?
I think the clothes are spread out.
Okay. And what was Michael, what did he have on him at this time?
Just his clothes.
Mm,
It's just t-shirt, his shorts, and his shoes or whatever he had on.
okay. And you talked about tape before, did he have that on him too?
Yeah,
Okay, where were those at?
the tape was on his mouth and his feet and his arms.
Okay. And then after they zipped the bag, where was everybody standing at this time?
They were all like, we were all like under where the tape on the house, and the friends, the tape on my mom's house.
Okay. And where was Brandon standing? Where was he at?
It was by the island.
He was still by the island. And where was Sarah?
She was, I think she was standing like between the brown couch and the bottom, the green couch
And where was the duffel bag at this time?
on the floor.
Where at?
We were really putting it in the back, where the same spot was on.
Okay, anybody standing by him or anybody kneeling by him?
You know, usually he was standing like a part of that in the corner. But
Where were you at?
I was in the bedroom,
Okay,
sitting outside the bedroom watching all this stuff.
okay,
So you saw him?
Yeah, I saw them put him in the back.
okay. So how did you guys decide to move him in the duffel bag outside?
Brandon carried clothes and they put his backpack in the back of the truck, or the backseat of the truck, and put up in there.
Okay,
You watched that.
I mean, all I could see is the duffel bag coming down. But yeah,
and so everything that you told us about you getting in the truck first and stuff, that was truthful?
yes,
Okay, and so nothing there has to change?
no,
Okay, where was Adrien?
he's He's gonna go with us, he's staying home.
Okay, why did he stay home? What did he say?
He just said he didn't wanna go.
Okay. Okay, so what is now the conversation in the truck?
Like I said, there was a lot of music, but, you know, like I said, I was trying to be conversing about this whole thing. Like I said, I wanted no part of it in the first place.
Were you guys worried about people looking for him or police officers or anything like that?
I told Sarah, I said, I told her, you realize how, and then behind everybody's gonna be involved. It is like that. And, she goes, yeah. And when I asked her, I said, you want worried? She goes, well, I am. And I go, well, I said, I don't know what you expected. And I told her that, I said, I don't know what you expected out of this. I said, but this is not what I expected. I would never would have ever imagined this.
Okay. Okay. And so as you guys were pulling out of the neighborhood, walk me through that, because I've had several different versions of that event.
Yeah, we pull out of the neighborhood, and gone down the driveway. We came back out of the driveway, and went back and past the mailboxes and go straight down, the middle of the road. I think it's called Partridge, Pintail. Then went out of the subdivision, ended up parking on the side of 8th Street.
Okay. And what was going on at that time to make you make her stop?
Power steering was a big issue, but then when Brendan got out, and I heard him whine.
And
But I hear, you know, it wasn't, the engine was. Wasn't that loud, you know, I mean, it's not. I'm not a huge fan of making, cutting off exhaust and, that's just, something we've done about 15 or 16, you know.
So the reason why I brought that up was because you're set up in front of the seat, right? This is the crew cab, right? So there's a lot of distance there.
Yeah. No, but the power steering is on the driver's side, so I can hear.
I get that, so you must have been whining pretty good.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Whining.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Almost kind of a dual screen.
A dual screen, yeah. Like, you know, can't say anything, you can hear him.
so did you see anybody looking for him?
Not at that time, no.
Okay.
It was when we got back, the whole streets were flooded.
Yeah, but when you were leaving, any cars that you remember seeing? Anybody that you were worried about?
It was just the people that were parked on the side of, what is that street that crosses, is it Arizona or which one?
There's Arizona and Washington.
Washington. Okay, so Arizona.
Was there any people there?
No, it was just vehicles that were parked,
Okay.
but nobody really stood out.
Okay, so after you guys got in the truck, I'm sure that it was nervous, you guys were probably nervous getting out of the truck and having to do that with all that going on. So what was the conversation when you got back in?
It was just that, you know, we just gotta go from here. We can't stop anymore.
Okay. And what was Brandon saying?
He was like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So you were thinking that Brandon got out and checked on Michael?
Yeah.
What did Brandon say about Michael?
He just said that he was fell on.
Okay.
You mentioned that you stopped at that. So you shut off the motor and drive, and you get gas and shell station.
Yeah, I
You
thought,
hear mine?
no, and it wasn't, I thought we had done, yes, but I thought about that last time. It wasn't, yeah, well, it wasn't bullshit, it wasn't that good.
So what I explained to Stacy is right now is the time to make sure that if there's any corrections that we need. So no matter what he said in the past, if it was a lie, that's fine, we just need the truth right now.
This time is straight up, honest to God.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So any other stops or anything else go on during the trip? I know you guys must have been talking, or any mention of Michael on the drive?
The only other stop that we made was to Brandon's house, and then when we had left, the tow staff and drove on, off of,
Well, let's not skip too fast, because I don't want to miss
you said
anything.
any other stops, so.
You're right, I did say that. Anything else in the back of the truck at the time?
No.
Okay,
There was, I think there was a shovel, if I recall,
okay,
and, I think there was duct tape, but that was in the duffel bag, and that was it, in the back of the truck.
okay. Why do you think there was duct tape and a shovel in the bed of the truck? Did you see this, or is this something that you learned later on?
It was something that I learned later on.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that.
But
Did you learn in interviews, or did Brandon bring that up?
there were interviews.
Okay. So those were things that officers had questioned you
Yeah.
about, and so now you're like, oh, that could be real. So I need you to just tell me what you know, okay?
I don't know that there was a shovel not taken back. It's all
Okay.
from what I've been questioned about.
Okay, that's perfect. So you telling me that makes me understand and know exactly what you mean. So I'm not misunderstanding anything. Okay. Do you remember anything else in the back of the truck from your knowledge?
Just, I know for a fact that I had a tow chain and I had a tow strap.
Okay. All right.
That's what I,
Okay. So when you guys were pulling into the neighborhood, tell me, it had to have been scary because if he's making noise.
yeah.
So tell me how that was.
When we were leaving or pulling into the neighborhood.
Pulling into Acuna, into Brandon's mom's neighborhood.
It was really dark. I mean, there wasn't anybody out of their houses on that block. I mean, it was, all the lights were off and stuff. They don't have freaking streetlights.
Okay.
So there wasn't, to my knowledge, there wasn't anybody out.
Did Michael finally quiet down?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he making any noise at that time?
Not that I can hear.
Nothing weird. Okay. Was there any movement in the bag?
I think there was a little bit of movement when I saw Brandon grab the bag out and start walking. But I don't hold me on that. It's not 100%.
Okay. And so you said nobody else went in the house with Brandon?
No.
Are you sure with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Positive.
Okay.
It was Brandon.
Did Brandon give one more check with him before he left?
I don't think so.
So Brandon didn't want to even look?
No, he didn't even go back into the house. He came, after he came out, put his backpack back in the truck and then we hooked up, I helped move his car out and hooked up his car to the tow strap.
So there's a little bit of a difference now, so I just want to make sure that we're 100%. So when Brandon came out, what did he come back out of the house with?
With a double bag.
With a
Double
double
bag backpack.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when Brandon had to remove Michael out of the duffel bag, was Michael alive? Did Brandon talk about that?
Brandon told Sarah that he was still alive.
Okay.
He was still alive when he took him out back.
Okay.
You heard that?
Yeah.
What did he say was going on at that time? Where did he put him and how was Michael?
He just said that he just put him in, it was the spare bedroom of their house.
Okay. Did he say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember what the words were that he said, because that helps me.
Sarah had asked where he put Michael, and he said put him in the spare bedroom of the house.
Okay.
That's,
Did he say on the bed, under the bed, in the closet? There was no specified.
no, it was just in
The spare bedroom.
Did he
Okay.
have duct tape?
Huh?
That was duct tape on the floor there or somewhere in that spare bedroom?
He wasn't worried about the neighbors coming in or anybody visiting, or there was no worry about any of that. Okay. So, I'm sorry about that. You guys may be tired of that ringtone too. Let me just turn this down like that. It's a survey if anybody would like to take it. No, I'm not taking it. So when you guys got back in the car, is there any changes that you want to make? Any conversations or anything before you guys left with the car towing? Were you guys making any phone calls, looking for anybody to give advice?
Okay. I know I had called Carson at midnight, but I was, I'm gonna ask him to come in his car. Let him know that it was something that I wasn't going to fix.
Okay.
And, that's when Brendan somehow worked to deal with Carson or whatever. Supposedly said or Carson told Brendan that he would trade Brendan, or Carson was being done for Brendan's Mercedes, but apparently it's Carson's Jack is supposed to be done, so, and Brendan still didn't come.
Anything else that you can remember on that trip? Anything about Michael's clothing, anything that belonged to Michael?
Just
Nothing.
the only thing I recall that last event that happened that night was, well, two things was Sarah having to utilize the restroom
Mm-hmm.
and using her shirt to wipe and the toe strap breaking.
Okay.
Other than that, it was just going into the neighborhood and just seeing all these people.
Did that stress you out, having a toe strap break with everything that just happened, and that must have been a pretty stressful event going through all that?
Yeah.
Okay. When you guys come back in the neighborhood, how did it make you feel seeing all those people?
Shit,
Okay.
very distraught, sad,
Okay.
very upset.
What were you guys saying?
I wasn't saying anything. I didn't say anything either today. It was just, they offered to, Sarah and Brendan offered to go out and help look for Michael
Okay.
later than that.
So you guys said that when you came in, you guys spoke with somebody. Does that need to change, or is that truthful?
Spoke with somebody.
Yeah, when you guys came back in the neighborhood that night, and there was people out walking around.
Yeah, we did. We
did.
did. We had stopped and we had rolled the truck windows down and asked what was going on. So there's a disappearance of a little boy.
How did, that make you feel?
Shit.
Okay. Were you worried that maybe somebody could have saw something or knew something?
Personally, yeah.
Okay. What were your thoughts?
Just anybody else that would have been worried, you know, like, who knows, you know, but we would just abducted a little boy and, you know, if that was my kid, I would have been heartbroken, heart-wrenched.
Yeah, that must have been really tough for you guys. When you guys got to the house, what was the decision about them? Because it sounds like they were separate ways, so how did that work out?
We called it, and they went, Brandon and Sarah went out to go look for the little boy, and I went to bed. The whole day was just a chaotic fucking mess.
And where did Sarah and Brandon go?
They said that they just went out to go look for my.
Okay. And did they talk about going down 9th Street?
Sarah said that she had driven down that street and saw that Brandon was, it's his mom's name, was just like devastated in tears. But she didn't know that's who it was. She assumed that it was his mom.
Did you guys know Brandy and them before this?
No.
Did you know anybody that knew that family?
No.
Okay. And did you guys talk with anybody in that family?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So did you guys download any applications or anything to monitor like police chatter or anything like that?
I always have had it. I always, any phone that I've always gotten, I've always usually downloaded a police scanner. Even before this all went down, I always just like to, some would say it's like meditation. I like listening to the police scanner, it helps me go to sleep, like the radio waves and stuff like that. Just, it really helps me relax. So there's a lot of times that
That's understandable. I do the same thing. I like to hear it. What was the police chatter that night?
there was just, I don't know that I listened to that much. So I was listening to sleep. I think I turned on the the radio to the nearest, the nearest, Payette County Sheriff's Office, or Payette County Sheriff, Provider, or whatever it is. And I heard a little bit of talk about the search of the little boy, and I still haven't found it, but
Okay,
that's, no harm.
okay,
I didn't listen to it, like you said, a whole lot, it helps me fall asleep.
okay. The next day, what all took place?
But Sarah, Brandon, and Adrien said they were going to do it,
Okay,
and ended up, bringing Michael back, and Sarah came and said that, Michael was gone, like physically. And then she was distraught, she was like, it was an accident, they accidentally killed him, and wanted, suggestions of where to bury him, and I said, I don't have any suggestions, I don't know what to tell you, and so they won't bury him in the backyard.
okay. Where was Michael at when you guys were discussing this?
In the duffel bag at the time.
Okay, and where was the duffel bag?
If I recall, it was sitting in the living room.
Okay,
Michael went in.
Yeah,
so
yeah, put him back in.
when they went to get Michael from QNO, which vehicle did they take?
I don't recall.
Don't know, okay. Well, that's tricky, that's right. When they came back, who brought Michael into the house?
I believe it was
Adrien did? Okay. And tell me, what was going on right when they walked back in with him?
they were just all like kind of quiet at first when they came in, and when I asked Sarah what was going on, she was, accidentally killed Michael.
Did you guys know his name at that time?
No,
What did you call him then?
just the child. I mean, I didn't know what else to call him.
Okay. So at that point, what did you guys do?
Sarah had gone out with Adrien and buried it.
What time was this?
Probably early afternoon.
Okay. Was it light out?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody saw this?
The only person that lives across behind us, he's an old man, he doesn't go out of his house hardly at all.
Okay.
So it's possible he could have seen something, I don't know, I wasn't out back watching the whole thing. I
Okay.
just saw where they were trying to bury him.
Okay. And this took place the day after?
Yes.
It did not take place that night?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would be last one.
Yes.
So after you guys buried him, then what happened? What happened that night?
I called my mom in distress.
Okay.
It was just in tears, and she was what's going on. And told her that this little boy went missing, and was just really upset about him crying, but I didn't tell her the truth.
Okay. And then what were Sarah and Brandon and Adrien doing?
I honestly don't recall. They weren't, I think that they were really quiet. Like, they were just more struck that this little boy died.
Okay.
There wasn't a whole lot of communication. I especially was one of the few that wasn't wanting. I didn't want to talk because I just was upset with the whole thing.
Okay. So did you guys even discuss at that time what you're gonna do about law enforcement?
No.
No, okay. What were you guys discussing at that time?
I just went up to her, I told Sarah, I said, you realize that everybody's gonna be involved in our house. She said that, I told her that we were gonna be all around our house and we were gonna do buildings and that's all.
Okay. So how did you guys feel when officers came to your home?
Scared.
Okay. Did you watch what they were doing? What were they doing?
Yeah, search dogs, and they brought search dogs and that day. And just a whole crew of people walking the streets, talking to people.
Okay. And how did you guys get through that? How did you guys get through that?
Just took it little by little.
Is that why Adrien was hiding in the closet? He was fooling around.
He had warrants out for his arrest.
He wasn't concerned about the kid. right?
No, I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure he was that too. I also know that his mention was, when he told us, a few days or a couple days after staying with us, that he had warrants out for his arrest, which makes sense.
So when the searchers were looking, did they look in the backyard?
Yeah, they had search dogs.
Okay. And they didn't find him? Why not? Did you guys think they were gonna find him?
I told Sarah, I said, there's a very good chance that they're gonna look at this whole one.
Okay.
I said, I asked her then what, and she didn't have a response for that.
And then what happened the day after that?
I think Sarah, I think we had gone to church. Because Sarah's like, we need to go to church. She'd asked me about the church. But, that was, I think we'd gone out to eat after that. And I had done a couple taxi rides, but I didn't recall just.
Okay. Anything else going on that I should know about at that time? You can't think of one thing that was going on that could help us with this case at that time?
Well, that's not an issue.
Okay, how about phones and stuff like that?
I called Carson and I ordered and called him over the next day. I was going to call him. And I knew I called him. And I said that I wanted to hang out with him for a little bit. You know, that's when I got something, I was used to it.
Okay.
This is my very,
Did you have any done for Michael?
no,
No.
no, the only photograph I have on my back is my grandfather. The memorial I have, she died in 2003.
Okay.
So what was the reason why you were hanging up with posters of the dead boy down there in your backyard on your refrigerator?
That was Sarah's doing, she's. She wanted to use it as you know, to try to fit into it.
Like, there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
What evidence have we not discovered in this case that you've been worried about?
Nothing else, it's little boy.
Yes.
That's my concern too. I don't know, yeah, I just found the duct tape, you guys said you found the tricycle, so that's gonna be, I didn't even know where that was there, so I'm glad you guys were able to find it. The duct tape, I'm sure you'll find it.
Where's the roll of duct tape?
Last I saw it was on the garage,
Okay.
that was sold months ago.
Where's the duffel bag? Where's the duffel bag?
That I don't know the answer to.
Isn't there any?
I don't know, I thought it was trash bags, or trash bag.
Did they wrap you up in those bags?
No, I think they just put him in, because he was already in the, yeah, he's already ducted. And so they just put him in the trash bag, hiding there.
So if I go to your house and Michael's not there, do you have an agreement that we don't have any more agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are 110% sure he is there in the yard. You have no worries that we're not gonna find him. Thank you. Come on. Thank you. Will you tremendous strength. Okay? Will you help us in this case? No matter what we ask.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Remember, you can't change the
No. No. Anything to help at this point.
And from this last story, 100% no bullshit.
How can I help you?
Tell us what you need, Stacy.
They, put me on suicide watch last night.
Yeah, I know.
They told me that there was gonna be a sergeant here today. They were giving him up in prison.
Well, they're a little concerned. Okay.
They won't even let me use the phone. I can't, all I can't do is right. And I've asked them, like, to get a hold of the lieutenant or something.
Would you want to try to call your mom?
I just want to go back to my cell. I want to myself. I'm not
So-
suicidal.
I'll make you this deal, okay? You get through this, okay? Do what they're asking, because we have your best interest at heart. We do not want anything to happen, okay? I will stay beside you and try to help in any way I can, okay? But I need you not hurt yourself, and I need you to help me finish this case.
Promise?
You,
See if you can try to get a hold of the lieutenant and see if we can talk to him. See if we can try to figure out what we can do.
I know Lieutenant.
No, I know,
He's not even.
but what about the surgeon?
You know, they have certain policies that they're gonna follow, you know.
Well,
And that, you know, I don't wanna ask them to stretch that, you know, but we will talk to them and tell them, you know, your concerns, and what you wanna do, all right? But that's gonna be up to them, all right? Think of it this way, well, it's just a liability. Okay, they're trying to protect you, you know.
and we can get through this. This is only a couple days. That's all it is. It's just a couple days. And you need time to mentally process everything and make sure that you're happy and that you're not going to hurt yourself, because I don't do that. That's not gonna help anybody or anything. You wanna help Michael's family, and I need your help, okay? And so, I don't know what happened last night or why they did that, but I know they did it for a reason, did they? Were they being mean or doing it for anything other than your health? Okay. Yes, definitely.
So, Stace, just, one thing, is paying attention, your honesty, okay? I want to reiterate again, and this is crucial, you know, okay? When you told Detective Allen and Clement, okay, will all come back on you if it's not true, okay? Because they're gonna make some decisions based on what you just said. And they're gonna put a lot of resources. They're gonna be waking people up, bringing them out. There's gonna be a lot of problems, okay, coming out of the woodwork. We have to be 1,000,000% that we will find Michael Vaughan in the backyard. Right? All right. Now, you can understand my hesitation, right, because of some fluid items, okay? But if you can reassure us, okay, 1,000,000,000%, that he is there, why would the dogs have not been found the last time they served?
I don't know what to do.
Did Sarah say anything after the dogs went through that one to you?
No, she was just concerned. Nobody mind.
So, any questions from you to us that you feel is important or anything you feel you'd like to add?
I'd like to see if we can talk to the federal prosecuting attorney and see if there's a way they would agree to let me out for a little bit so I can go work and make some money when I have to prison.
We can't do any of that. We will leave that
The
to,
federal side?
Yeah.
That's what you said.
we will talk to our prosecutor, and our prosecutor will do whatever they do.
And it's all based on, obviously, the evidence that we
Yeah.
see.
Mhm.
So,
What's really in it, is that you're not bullshitting with Michael. You give us Michael's body, and that's gonna help you tremendously. I really believe that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Let's see if they have a phone that they could bring for you.
I'll share
I
it.
don't know if they do that.
I'll share it.
is that what you meant on the phone when you said I want to testify against you?
Yeah. Let's go for a second. Where did they go? Here, can I see that for a second? I'm gonna run this in here for a second. How do you get out, Scott?
Bust out.
Must we go here?
I think that's a good place. That concludes that,
That
day
video?
of interrogation.
All right, so before we break for the day, I want to take a recess and meet with council. We'll be right back here in this office.